it was super interesting, I think, to see Kevin James in a very like John Wicky kind of role. And it made me curious just for you with this long list of acting credits of your own. Is there ever like a genre or a role or type of role that you're hoping to tackle in the same vein that might be a little different than what people know you for?
I've been pretty happy with what I've done. I'm always looking for like the next great thing
Mm-hmm.
to step into. Part of what's going on with me right now is that I do have a production company and we are developing projects, you know. So those are the things that I want to step into because it's something that I have a say in
Mm-hmm.
and I have a certain amount of control over. Um, and not just being a hired hand.
Yeah.
Um, but there's nothing wrong with being a hired hand because you're an artist, you know. So, but to be able to develop my own stuff and not be at the mercy of, you know, that world out there waiting,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I get to read a lot of stuff, and I haven't found that one thing that really stands out yet, but I'm sure it will. I'll find it, and just working out with a few different people to to write certain things and give my ideas and my scope.
Yeah, I think that must feel very fulfilling. You have so much experience that it would be cool to like see you take on more producing roles or directing roles or greenlighting projects. But I do want to ask about Iggy in this film, just because you bring such gravitas to every character that you play. You're very good at doing something serious and then switching to like these comedic beats. I think for me, one of the first roles that really stood out for me of yours was in Waiting, and I'm sure you get like that reference on the street all the time. People recognize you from
All the time.
that's a good one. But you have such a wealth to the experiences and roles that you've played. But I'm curious, how did Iggy like come across your desk? Is it like straight offers now, or do you still have to like play the game and audition and like reach out to people?
Well, I'll put it to you this way: I have not auditioned in 30 years,
Mm.
so this role of Iggy came by pretty quick. Listen, I got the offer on a Monday, and I was asked if I could start shooting Wednesday, and I
Wow.
go, and I go, wait, what? Let me read the script first, So I
Yeah.
got the offer, and then can you show up Wednesday to work? And it's like, yeah, it was like that quick of a turnaround with this, and I found out that was the case with everybody in this film.
Wow.
Um, um, but I read it, I dug it. It was an opportunity once again to work with Kevin James, to work with Christina,
Hmm.
and knowing that there was going to be a scene with Melissa Leo, I was like, what? So, and like I said, I just thought the character was pretty badass. He was a bit of a mystery because just didn't know what side of the fence this guy was on,
Totally. Yeah.
you know. And I really dug that. So it wasn't something that it wasn't like predictable.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up Melissa Leo because I really loved kind of that opening scene dynamic where they're talking about the code and Kevin's character is getting back into kind of that organized crime that you guys have. But um, when you're working on a set that's full of veterans, like you said, Kevin James, Christina Ricci, right? Uh, how does a set function differently when everyone kind of just knows how a set works versus maybe being on a set full of new coming up and coming actors? Is there a clear difference to you?
Well, when you're working with a bunch of veterans, you just pretty much show up.
Mm.
It's like it's like when you work with veterans, it's like putting the old band back together,
Uh,
and everybody knows how to play. When you're working with relatively newcomers, then I put myself into the role of being a nurturer.
mm,
You know, I don't ever show up with the idea that like, oh, I'm showing up with all these newcomers. well, I'm going to act like I know it all. No, that's the wrong approach. You have to be willing to take, which I've done many times, some of these people under your wings, you know, um, just have them understand, you know, all the different parameters of what's going on and how to play.
I'm curious just because Iggy gets to fire a gun and a bazooka. You see that in the trailer. Do you get weapons training when you go into roles like
No,
this,
I
or
actually have like a closet full of all these weapons here and bazooka. Sometimes, like twice a day, I go out and like shoot stuff into the woods here. No,
amazing?
no, no. Um, I always request to get training
Mm,
to handle these things, to shoot it off before I even do a scene. Like I would never ever um have somebody just put a weapon in my hand and just go.
yeah.
It's like I want to go outside. I want to shoot off a few rounds. I want to see how this feels. I want to feel the kickback because sometimes it's a quarter load, half load, or full load, so they all react differently. So depending on what you're doing, you just want to know what the action is going to be. So that's really important to me. It keeps me safe. It keeps my cast and my crew safe. And that's how I do stuff. I don't do stuff on the whim, you know. I don't do stuff because I know it all. I do stuff because I want it to look beautiful. I want it to look good. I want it to be proper. And I'm more than anything and above everything, I want it to be safe.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely commend that. I mean, I feel like even on a smaller scale, I've seen projects that kind of like cut corners when it comes to like safety and just getting the job done, right? So that is very nice to hear. I want to talk about Edward Drake a little bit, just because I always enjoy when a writer is also the director on their projects because they have such a better scope of like what the story is, who the characters are. So yeah, even with the quick process of joining the project, I wonder what were kind of the benefits of having him at the helm and having such a scope of like what he wanted to make and then involving you in that process.
Well, first of all, Mr. Drake, um, I love working with him. Very, very cool, easygoing, level-headed kind of guy. You know, like he had the vision,
Mm-hmm.
and when you have that, you're working with a writer director, and they have that vision. You just kind of add to the vision and to the flow of what he's doing. Um, and he pretty much allowed me to do what I wanted to do, but I will always check with him out of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I always check in anyway, but uh, he is someone that I would certainly look forward to working with again because I just like his flow, has a great, incredible demeanor about himself, and just like really easygoing.
I heard just because this is more of like a really nerdy question for me. I'm a big community guy. I'm sure you could sense it through the screen, but I heard that you get money every time the statue of your statue shows up on screen. Is that actually
If
true?
my elbow shows up on the screen, I'm getting paid.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's
So
it's like the funniest thing ever.
that's a pretty cool deal. I know that there's a lot of talk about like a movie being made, and it sounds like even Donald Glover's signed on to do it, and they're writing the script. Does that mean you get a cameo in that movie? Have you had any conversations about that?
I haven't had any conversations about that, but you know what? I would welcome it because I'm the most famous alumni of that school.
Absolutely,
So if you don't have me in
absolutely.
that film, that's not good.
You're also taking on the iconic role of Gomez Adams. Season 2 trailer just dropped. Could I get a little tease of what's to come in season 2 for us?
Yeah, we blew the lid off the second season. The first season was pretty spectacular. Second
Mm-hmm.
season, wow. I saw the first 4 episodes and I was beyond myself. I was like,
Oh.
this is incredible, incredible. You know, not only the performances, but the sets. You know, the costumes. You know, all the storylines, and just how you see like the expansion of
Hmm.
some of these characters. It's great. It's great. You're going to love it.